Hello and welcome back to another Warcraft video. This time I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a sneak peek at Gorgrond. Now Gorgrond is the second zone that we're going to be going into in Warlords of Draenor. The Horde will get there rather conveniently from Frostfire Ridge. In fact, I'm starting off this clip at Frostfire Ridge, and then the Alliance will, I believe, somehow make their way over there through Shadowmoon. Anyway, so the zone itself is really interesting, actually. It's a mix of the Durotar theme, with all the sort of steam vents, rocky outcroppings, and canyon-style things, but then it's also got this really lush jungle in it, which honestly reminds me of some of the parts of Sholasar Basin. It really is nice to have that there, though. I think it's very important that this zone's got some variation in its visual style. Now, as for this area that I'm in at the minute, I think it just looks amazing. Really, now that they've got better at texturing things in a convincing manner, this whole canyon look, does it maybe look like some of those more picturesque parts of Utah that you maybe see, but whatever. This just look is far more convincing than it ever has been in the game. And of course that's in large part just to how they are better at texturing things. The actual textures have got kind of shading painted onto them, various little things like that, which overall just makes it look really convincing. Now, as we move over this hill, you will see the Blackrock Foundry, or at least the major fortress of the Blackrocks. This is the location, I believe, of the second raid tier. Well, not raid tier, the second raid of the first raid tier. A little bit like how in Pandaria we had MSV, and then after that we had the Heart of Fear and the Terrace of Eternal Springs. So this is going to be the harder tier, or the harder sort of raid within that tier, and it's going to be larger than Highmaul, which is the one in Gorgrond. Overall, though, I don't know a great deal about it, just that the final boss is Warchief Blackhand, and who's, of course, the leader of the Blackrocks, so that should be a really, really interesting raid, actually. The place itself looks awesome. I'm also 99% sure that this is where the Iron Docks dungeon is located, obviously because there are docks, and it's the Iron Horde, so it would make a good deal of sense. Now, this next shot, this is actually where it failed. Unfortunately, there are just stability issues at the minute, and this is the best I could do with about 3 hours of trying to get in using Farsight. Anyway, so this time we're going to be taking a little bit of a different path through. Overall, though, the Blackrock area is really impressive to me. I think it looks awesome. It feels Iron Horde-ish, and I think what really interests me, though, is once the Blackrocks are destroyed, that's kind of the main punch of the Iron Horde gone. So I wonder what they're going to be pulling out to surprise us with in the subsequent raid tiers. Anyway, so now we are back down in the kind of canyon-y area, but there's a little bit more lush greenness. You'll see where that takes us, actually. It really does end up looking beautiful, this zone. You know, I was originally a little bit concerned that this would just be a kind of fancy Durotar with not much color and maybe a lot of fog, because some of the original shots of this zone didn't really sell me on it, but now that I've actually had a little bit of a peek through, I've got to say it looks fantastic, especially from the ground. When, you know, it's like on the ground you can have all these big rocky outcroppings and things be towering above you. The same goes for when you're in the forest. You know, the trees are towering above you, and it just is really convincing. It works out really well. This is a particularly pretty shot as well, just in that jungly area. Not too sure if we're going to have any Sholasar Basin sort of reminiscent style things. I'd imagine that if Helmut Nessingwary is here, he'll probably be in Gorgrond. Still, though, I could imagine there being lots of really cool quests going on in the jungle. Now, I didn't get to see what that big orb thingy is. Yeah, I don't think it's much of significance, but previously some Titan things have had big glowy orbs. Still, even from this distance, it's hard to discern exactly what the thing is. Anyway, so I think in this clip I just continue going on around the right-hand side of the zone, or maybe that's the next clip. I'm pretty sure, yeah, actually no, I think it broke. Yeah, so this is actually where we started off in the first clip. You could see that ogre face over there to the left. Not ogre, like the giant Grond creature. So, yeah, let's just take a different stab at this zone. Yeah, unfortunately, look, the stability issues just meant that it was rather hard to capture footage from this place. It kept on just cutting out every sort of minute or two, which did make things rather weird. Now, this was actually captured at about 1 PM GMT, which, when you translate that into American time, means that the zone is not really fully lit currently. It's a little bit unfortunate. Of course, this was on an American server. Yeah, I guess it would look a little bit more vibrant and stuff like that during the daytime. The one thing that did impress me is the vibrancy. I was a little bit just kind of annoyed at Pandaria for not being particularly vibrant. Even when, like say, when it was not destroyed, the Veil was visually kind of washed out. It was not vibrant in terms of its colors. And the same as really just happened for many parts of Pandaria. But I think certainly in this zone there's definitely a decent bit of vibrancy, especially once you're a little bit more sort of down, you know, with the bushes and all that. And you can really see the lighting sort of working. Yeah, it's a cool zone. Now plot-wise, I'm not 100% sure what's going to be going on here. All I know is Iron Horde. So really the other elements of this zone are a complete mystery to us. You can see some of the Zangarmarsh style mushrooms there, a few nibblers as well, and yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. There's also a really cool parrot. I don't know if you'll see it again, but it kind of looked a little bit out of place, but it's just so stylish looking that I like it. Yeah, not really 100% sure what to think about that. Anyway, so that's basically it for this zone. Now, I did have some footage from me looking at it about 2 weeks ago. Turns out, actually, when I looked back at that footage, they've really updated the zone. They've fixed up the Iron Docks area, so that stuff's not really particularly relevant. But really, that's about it for this video. Overall, it's a pretty zone. I'm rather impressed and surprised at how good it's looking, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. So let me know what you thought in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.